the years, we've encountered a lot of people, all right? And each and everyone is unique in their own way. And again, they also have their challenges, all right? If someone should come out right now, especially those who have already passed their Nclex, and tell you what they've been through, it's not going to be easy, okay? So we are all unique in our own ways, but there are a lot of things too that are stopping a lot of us from starting the Nclex journey. So once you see me here, we are going to delve into some of these myths and some concern that pose fear in us to start the Nclex. So we will start from which is the standard exams. You know, when we talk about standard exams, it's just like, for example, a set of 100 questions, and all of us here are doing that 100 questions. Okay, each and every one has the same number of questions, the same sentence, everything. Okay, but the Nclex is not like that. The Nclex is something we call CAT, which is Computer Adaptive Test. It adjusts to your performance and give you questions based on your performance. Okay, so if there are 100 people going to sit for the Nclex will base on your performance and give you questions based on your performance. If B is going to sit for the Nclex, the questions will be based on his or her performance. Okay, so they've made the computer in such a way that it adapts to your performance, how you are answering the questions before they give you questions to answer. Okay, so on the D-Day, if you have not been learning or you have not been practicing enough, the computer will catch you. If you have been cheating in your learning, the computer will catch you. Okay, so let's understand that we have to prepare well, because once and give questions based on our performance. That's why the Nclex is not a standard exam. Okay, so there are no past questions on the Nclex. All right, so there are no past questions. Okay, so the second one we would like to talk about is the fact that you must remember everything in order to pass the Nclex. Okay, and you must be brilliant in order to pass the Nclex. Well, being brilliant is a bonus. All right, it helps a lot, but it doesn't entirely mean that you have to be overly brilliant before you can pass the Nclex. You know, some of our seniors were very brilliant, but they tested the Nclex more than once. Okay, myself standing here, I took the Nclex twice. Okay, I went for the first one, I couldn't make it, so I had to go for the second one. All right, but one thing that happened was that during those times there were no much materials. Okay, and you wouldn't get enough guidance as to how to go about things. So you move from one material to the other and the other to. Sometimes you become so confused. Okay, the more reason we need someone to guide us through our process. The more reason we need USRN Elite to guide us through our Nclex process. So I hope if your Nclex journey and you feel like you are a brilliant student and you are covering a lot of materials and you are getting good scores and stuff, it doesn't mean you are going to pass the Nclex automatically. Okay, there are a lot of things that comes together to help you pass the Nclex. It's not only about learning and learning and learning and learning. Learning is good. I always say it's about 95% of you passing the Nclex. But there are other ingredients that you need to add to your content to be able to pass the Nclex. Just like our brother initially said, if you are at the test center and you receive a call from the house that this and this and this happened or has happened, imagine how you are going to pant the anxiety involved. Okay, that can also affect your ability to concentrate on the questions you are solving. So you don't need to remember everything. Okay, it's based on some strategies, some skills. The Nclex will test you based on how you are able to decide, okay, your clinical judgment. So anyone at all can pass the Nclex if you are able to follow the rules of the Nclex. Okay, so if you want to start the Nclex and you have this mentality that, oh, I'm not a good student, and someone who is very brilliant went and passed the Nclex and stuff, Trust me, you can make it. Okay? Clear that ideology, that fear, that perception from your minds and start the Nclex journey right away. You will be able to pass with the guidance of USRA. Okay, so the next one we would like to talk about is the length of the Nclex exams matters. Okay. You get 150 questions. It means you have failed the Nclex. And if you get 85 questions, you have passed the Nclex. Okay, this is coming from the fact that the Nclex has a maximum of 150 questions and a minimum of 85 questions. You have 5 hours for this, okay? So when you start the Nclex, as the computer adjusts to your performance and is giving you a question based on your performance, if you get to 85th question, and the computer, oh, okay, this person is good, then let me cut off this person. Let this person go and rest. He has done, or he or she has done enough. Okay, you have impressed the computer enough. The computer will cut you there. You get home and receive your licenses. And that day, let me tell you, when you receive that mail, okay, that time I had just alighted at the airport and I was in my bus going to Kumasi. When I received the message, alert, you know how they will capture it. Hey, congratulations, we believe in what, you know this one. I stepped on the message like for some minutes before I was able to inform my family members about it. Okay, so one thing is that if you pass the Nclex, you feel like you are on top of the whole world. The way you work this, and it's automatically, it's like, it's not intentional, okay? The way you walk changes, the way you talk, just like our brother was doing. You know, you see? So that is how it is. You have some genuine feeling about yourself, okay? The feeling is different. You can't imagine it unless you pass the Nclex. Seriously, unless you pass it. So let's try our best to pass or to start the Nclex, and inshallah, I know we are going to pass. Okay, so all right, so the length of we talked about 85, let's talk a bit about 150. Okay, so the minimum number of questions is the 150, and the highest number of questions you can go is 150, okay? The computer can cut any number between the 85 and the 150, 86, 90, any number at all. Once it has realized that, okay, at this stage, you are not performing well, so let me cut you off. You go home, and you come back later. I don't want to waste your time here. So go back and come back later. Okay. But if you are performing well, then the computer will cut you within any number between the 85 and the 150. Okay, and pass you. So that is it for the one. So it doesn't mean that you have to go 85 to pass the Nclex, or you have to go 150 to pass the Nclex. It depends on your performance. It's so individualized. So we don't want to generalize it. Once you are performing well, the computer will recognize it and then give judgment. Okay. So that is it with regards to the length of the Nclex exams. Another one is that the Nclex is easier in different countries or states. So someone, we've received a lot of people. Someone will go and couldn't make it and will be like, oh, YAQOOT, I want to change my country. It seems like a lot of people are passing in South Africa, so I want to go to South Africa. Who told you? Okay, so let's imagine something like a polytank, okay, that is filled with water. That polytank is supplying a compound house. Each room receives its water from that same polytank, okay? So let's assume the water in the polytank is the Nclex questions, okay? The rooms are the centers or the countries. So all these centers or countries are receiving the questions from the same source. Okay, so possibly questions may be repeated. It's possible, but it's not possible to receive entire questions that perhaps be received. Okay, some of them might repeat because they are all coming from the same source. So it's not like questions that Center A receives are different and easier than questions that room B receive. It's not like that. So people go to A and pass, and people go to B and fail. No, they're all receiving the same questions from the same source. Okay, so it all boils down to your performance. Okay, so don't have it in mind that you have to go to Kenya, or because Kenya is a new center, they are trying to do some survey to test people's minds. No, wherever you go prepared, you will be able to pass your exams. All right, so with the little we've said, I want just two people to answer this question for me. Okay, is the Nclex really difficult based on what I said? Is the Nclex really difficult? It's not really difficult. All right. Okay. Don't scare yourself. Okay. Don't scare yourself the fact that the Nclex is difficult. It's based on your performance and how prepared you will be able to pass the Nclex. Again, you don't have to be overly, or you can pass the Nclex. So, Nclex is based on your performance subjectively. Okay, don't stand anywhere and generalize it that Nclex is difficult. Meanwhile, you haven't even tested. All right. So another fear that people is the time to wait after passing the Nclex. I passed my Nclex on the 28th February 2022, and I'm still here. I'm getting to 3 years. Imagine the frustrations, the what and what that you'll be going through. Okay, but don't allow to draw you back. All right. Once you have your licenses, just like our guest speaker said, that is your visa. Okay, and it will definitely one day reach 10. You just have to be patient. Okay, once you are doing something, once you are a nurse and you are receiving, sorry to say, these mega salaries that we are receiving, and we are surviving. Okay, just have it in you that you can survive it. Okay, and it's not something that you have control over it. No one has control over the Nclex process. You can't also skip any process. You just have to wait. So with regards to retrogression that we've had, and our brother also made mention of COVID-19 also affecting retrogression. You know, I'm not an immigration attorney, but I try to explain this in my own way. It's like supply and supply concept. Okay. The thing is that every year they release a number of visas for globally, every country in the world, about 140,000 visas for EB3, which is the green card. Okay. So with this 140,000, let's assume that US is expecting 140,000 EB3 category. Okay, in the US. So every country will receive 7% of this 140,000. So Ghana has 7%, Nigeria has 7%, Kenya 7% out of the 140. So if it's getting to the end of the year, and mostly the end of year is around October or September. Okay. So if it's getting around September, and they realize that the number of people who have applied for the visa is far way more than the visa available, then this canker we call retrogression will set in. So at the end, they will understand that retrogression is not really a bad thing, but it's there to help us. Okay. So if they realize that the number of applicants far exceed the visa available, then they will try and sort those who applied initially. Okay, before you. They will try to serve them before you that came earlier. Okay, so as you are waiting, they are also sorting those who started far way behind you. So it's a way of clearing the backlog. Okay. After you've passed the Nclex, I think there are some stages that you take you to. There's something called I-140. Okay, the day you file your case. Okay, that's where you start your visa process. The day you file your case, they will give you a date, and that date is the priority date. So once you receive that priority date, they will also give you a welcome letter later. Okay, it's just a letter that your 140 has been accepted and stuff. Then you fill another form, which is the DS-260 and then DS-261 before you get something. The DS-260, those two forms are just to check your background information, your criminal records, your licenses, everything. Okay, once they've done with that, then they will give you something called case complete, that we've been able to check background, everything is okay. So now you are ready to join the queue. Okay. So there will be some people or instances where the period between your I-140 or your priority date and your case complete can delay. Sometimes the agency or whoever is dealing your distance for you can delay in sending some documents to those organizations. And someone can overtake you because their documents and everything are being accepted faster than yours. Okay, so the person might get their case complete faster or earlier than yours. Meanwhile, you started your process far before the person. Okay, so retrogression comes in to help those who started their process far before those who started late. Okay, so that they will clear those people before they attend to those who just started. Okay, so retrogression, those with green card, that is the EB3. Sorry for the B. So EB3 is visas. It visas, but then it does. Okay, so these are the two major categories of visas that the EB retrogression affects. So don't be scared with retrogression. All right. So this is something that we also offer at USR Elite once you pass your Nclex. So those of us here who have passed your Nclex, this is a very nice offer that we offer you. So whether you go for direct hire or you go for staffing, we do both of them. Okay? And we also, I'll throw more light on the staffing and the direct hire because most of us want direct hire, isn't it? If you have heard of direct hire and staffing, a lot of us prefer direct hire because of sign-on bonus. All right, so if you have passed your Nclex, you did self-sponsorship, okay, without any agency. You haven't signed your contract with any agency. Have this, you can contact us and we can start your immigration process for you, okay. Have a sign-on bonus between $10,000 to $20,000 for you, all right. We have 3 months accommodation or housing free for you, okay. Most of the agencies give 1 month, all right. We are giving you 3 months. So we also pay for your flight to the US, and that one is the applicant, okay. It's only the applicant. For your dependent, you have to foot those bills. We also file premium I-140. So with the I-140, it's the first stage of your Nclex process. That is where you send your documents to for your visa to be processed, right? And a lot of things goes behind this I-140. We have premium, and then we also have the standard. We do premium if you have your English test ready. Okay. If you don't have your English test ready, we don't do premium for you. And initially or previously, the I-140, the standard I-140 could take you about 6 months, all right? But now, it takes almost a year. Yes. 10, 12 to 15 months, right? Yes. So currently, standard is around 12 to 15 months. Okay? Yes, but if you do the premium these days, which used to take 2 weeks, now it's also around 3 to 4 months. Okay? So a lot of things are changing, and therefore you don't have to delay yourself. Okay? The earlier you start, the better for you. The earlier you join the queue, and then for I-140. It's very expensive, trust me. If you are finding the premium I-140, it's around $3,002 for the premium. So a lot of things goes to that. So that is it for this one. In case you have passed your Nclex, there are some benefits in general. Every agency does it. Okay. So this one is also done. All right. So with regards to the direct hire and this, we want to share some similarities and differences. Because a lot of people prefer direct hire just because they've heard of the sign-on bonus. But there are a lot of pros and cons about this staffing and direct hire. Okay, so with regards to the similarities, they both file EB3, which is the green card. Okay, they both provide the insurance and all other general benefits. That is for the similarities. They both provide accommodation, and then they don't cover all expenses. Because we believe that once we've done self-sponsorship, we spend a lot. So these agencies who are recruiting us should, pay or refund all that we paid for the Nclex. It's not possible. You will never get any agency that will pay everything. Okay, so don't be expecting. With regards to the difference, with regards to direct hire, you get a job offer before immigration process. One thing about direct hire is that you have to get the job offer first before they start your immigration process. And trust me, most of the hospitals don't have a robust immigration process. Staffs, okay? So sometimes it delays. It delays for them to start your I-140 process. Unlike staffing, they will start your I-140 first for you to get your priority date before you get your job offer. So that is one thing you have to understand about them. The employer handles the immigration, just like I said. Your employer, also the one who is bringing you to the US, is the hospital. Let's also understand one thing here, that if your employer files for you and it delays, like retrogression has occurred, if you have been in the queue for even 3 years and your employer feel like, oh, okay, so this person coming is over delaying, we've gotten someone here that we can fix in that same position, then we terminate the person's contract. You have to go back and start the process afresh. Okay? Yes. That is for direct hire. Even if you are in the US, some people say you will still go back and start the process afresh. It's not only about you being in Ghana. It affects those in the US as well. Okay. So if you are with the staffing agency, they will handle your immigration process. That is their work. And that problem doesn't affect the staffing agency because they file in their name. I-140 cannot be filed in a different, if Archimedes file my I-140 for me, I can't continue with that if I hire you, right? I have to file in my name, okay? But there is something called recapture filing in the immigration process. Not everyone know about this. Not everyone does this. Recapture filing is done by few agencies, and we do that. Okay, so if you are in the process, and the hospital terminates your contract, when you come to us, we will go and change your I-140. You have the same date that you file the I-140. Okay, but then it will be in our name. It's called a recapture. Termination of contract requires. So that's like what I've explained. Get on sign-on bonus. Okay, so with the sign-on bonus, if you are dealing with a hospital directly, there are some agencies that provide direct hire. All right, that one you are going through the agency that is giving you the direct hire. But if you have the hospital itself starting your process, then the salary you get is a bit higher than agency. All right, but if you go through an agency and then the agency gets you a hospital for direct hire, mostly the salary is a bit low. Okay, and they also offer bonus. Sign-on bonus to me is good, but let's make this comparison. If I'm with a staffing agency and I'm receiving $40 US per hour with no sign-on bonus, okay, and someone is receiving 33 per hour with 10,000 or 15,000 sign-on bonus. Trust me, the 40 without sign-on bonus is better than 33 with sign-on bonus. If you should sit down and make that calculation at the end of the year. Okay, so it's just a marketing strategy that these direct hires will bring the sign-on bonus. Okay, and at the end of the day, you are not going to receive all the 10,000 at a go. They are going to divide it, and it's taxable. They will tax it. All right. I'm not saying direct hire is bad, but we are just comparing the pros and cons. You are born to the hospital to the end of the contract with direct hire. Because the hospital filed in your name, you are bonded to the hospital, so you finish either 2 or 3 years contract. With direct hire, it's mostly 3 years, okay? But if you are going through an agency, it's mostly between 2 to 3 years, okay? It can never be less than 2 years, it can never be more than 2 years, but depending on the agency, you get 2 or 3 years contract. And it's flexible, right? You know, sometimes we talk to these recruiters, and what they tell us is that when people get to the US, they start to have a change of mind, okay? You are working in Arizona, right? But then at the end of the day, they want to change to, let's say, California. If you are with a direct hire and your contract hasn't ended, till you pay them off, you can't move. Okay, you can't move to California. Okay, if you are with an agency, and then after 1 year or within your contract, you want to change your state. It's so flexible that you can easily change your state. You just let them be aware, and they will do that for you. Okay. One thing I also realize is that if you get into any problem with a direct hire, you are having the problem with your employer. No one comes to your aid. Perhaps the employer may get you a lawyer and stuff. But if you are with an agency, the agency will come to it because you report to the agency. But one thing a lot of people fear is that with the direct hire, you know, it's factual that the hospital will pay the direct hire and the direct hire will pay you. Okay, so they will deduct something from your pay. But with the direct hire, the hospital pays you direct. All right. So sorry, with the staffing. All right. So let's understand that if you get into any issues, you report to the agency comes on your behalf and then get the issue resolved. All right. So I think that is it for now. I just added this code. Discipline is a bridge between intention and accomplishment. Starting is the first act of belief in your own potential. If you want to start the journey and you are having misconceptions, I believe it's now clear. I believe nothing should draw you back. And just like our first speaker said, the journey is not going to be easy. It's very stressful. But once you make your mind to start, you can accomplish it. So make your mind. Nclex is not, sorry to say, for the weak. Okay? I know we are all conquerors. Okay? Let's make our mind. Let's start. And we know that at the end of the day, inshallah, we will pass our Nclex. Thank you very much.